Well, it is truly, truly an honor because they say, I feel like people loosely throw out like trailblazers and like change makers out there. But to be in the presence of one, and that I believe to be true, is such an honor. So, Luke, thank you so much for taking the time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
I mean, I want to talk to you about your journey because it doesn't just come out with your announcement and coming out and standing in your truth and what that means for so many and the communities in which you represent. But to get to that point, what kind of self-work took place and what realization did you have for yourself to say, you know what, I want to do what I love, but I also want to be who I want to be in this space as well?
Yeah, exactly. I think it was hard for me. Definitely a lot of times I had to get to a point where I was okay without, I was okay with if I didn't have to play hockey ever again. That was kind of my tipping point where I was like, okay, I can do that. So then maybe I can kind of see if I can start, coming out to my friends and family, see how they react, and then kind of get closer to hockey. Because ultimately, I played hockey my whole life. It's what I want to do. I want to be a professional player. That process of me starting to talk to some of my friends and family, I kind of got this. I don't really. It's kind of bad. Like I didn't really care, an attitude sort of thing. Like I didn't really care what they thought of me. I just kind of wanted them to accept me. But that was mostly for other people around them. That were kind of hearing it, rumors, stuff like that. And then ultimately, I think that's kind of given me the confidence and the courage to kind of do what I did.
I mean, I love that you say that it's kind of bad to not care, but I so encourage that. I have a young boy and I want him to get to a point where he doesn't care and he stands in his truth and he shows up in the room fully as himself. But we'll get to that as a moment because I have so many questions as a parent. I'm hoping to get my son into sport. But the reaction from when you had come out, did you expect that at all? And what kind of messages were you getting from guys in the league, but also in hockey? And did that take you off guard by any chance in terms of what you might have experienced playing at a young age?
It was, we kind of we couldn't plan for it was the thing, because, no one had come out in the NHL like under a contract. So we didn't know how big of a deal it was going to be. And it was by far bigger than what we ever, imagined.
Uh, you've shown a lot of leadership, a lot of character in what you're doing here. So you're a tremendous young man, and thanks for sharing your story.
Thank you, Pierre. I appreciate that.
I got so many messages from players from around the league. It was insane. Like off the top of my head, like Austin Matthews, Tyson Barrie, Nick Foligno, Mitch Marner. Like there were just so many guys in the league that reached out and were so happy for me.
Luke, buddy, just wanted to post this to show my support publicly, and really proud of you and happy for you. I know you were both excited and anxious for today.
But I think it was also cool to see that it reached, it was kind of globally. Like I would get messages from people in Spain or Australia, like places that hockey isn't big, but it's still, my message still reached out to there, which was really cool to see.
I mean, as a parent, I think from the moment you came out and the conversations that were coming out, and my kid's 4, but there's still a lot of unlearning when it comes to what it means to create a safe space for kids who just want to do what they want to do and play and be passionate about the sport in which they play. For parents now who are now opening up and having these types of conversations, being someone who knows just impactful that can be, what do you think is the place that we could start? Where should we start in terms of these conversations?
I mean, I think we just need to continue to have the conversations we're having. I think that's kind of creating the open space that is allowing people to succeed and people to be more comfortable playing the sport or in the business, that whatever that may be. I know that it may be uncomfortable for a lot of people, and because it's just starting to happen with the conversations and stuff like that, but they just need to continue to happen because that's the only way, the sports will move forward.
And for yourself, I mean, I kind of relate in a way because people like to say I'm the first in being a Black woman in the sports space in Canada and whatever. But sometimes you're just like, I just want to do what I want to do, man. I just want to be good at what I want to do. So when it comes to what's next, I know breaking ice is something that will be featuring your stories and the ways in which that you've broken ice and trailblaze. But how excited are you for your future and just the path that you've been able to create for so many out there to also just get on the ice and play the game that they love and not have fear to do so?
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think that breaking ice that I did was looking at, like, in the moment, I was like, okay, like, it's going to be like another interview, and it might not be as enjoyable. But I mean, looking back on it now, I could see how much it actually touched people, and getting the response from the outside world on it was outstanding, and I couldn't be more thankful for Uninterrupted Canada for thinking of me when they thought about that project. But I mean, I'm just so excited for my future with hockey too. I think I'm just so much more confident as a player now. Kind of having that not care attitude is leading onto the ice as well, and I'm being more myself. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then obviously in the next couple months too, we'll see where my media stuff takes me, and I'm looking forward to that as well.
Showing up in a room fully as yourself, what a radical act in these times, huh?
I know,
Luke?
crazy.
Thank you so much for the time. Thank you for all that you stand for, and thank you for the incredible work that you've been able to do.
No problem. Thank you, Kayla.